So the reality is this, okay? Any deal you do right now, whether you take a listing, you put a buyer under contract, the reality is it's not going to close until January 2022. That is why we have to absolutely have our plan in place right now. I'm making this video in the beginning of November 2021, and now is the time to not take a break, all right? Most of your competition is out there, getting ready for the holidays, getting ready for Thanksgiving. I get it, it's fine, but the reality is most of your competition, most of the real estate agents out there taking their foot off the gas, okay, taking a break. You've got a real opportunity here to start 2022 off in a way that can be your best year ever in real estate, ever, if you do what we are gonna walk you through in today's video, all right? So if we haven't met yet, my name is Brandon Mulrenin. I teach real estate agents how to sell without being salesy so they can build a listing-based business. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to subscribe to the channel. You can always change your mind later. All right, so let's jump into this. I'm gonna walk you through your 2022 business plan, literally step by step. I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I do when I take on a new coaching client from day one to make sure that right now you're building towards your best year in real estate, all right? So I'm gonna walk you through this step by step. So I'm gonna share my screen. You can get a copy of this business plan template. I'll put a link beneath this video. Download it, you can follow along. I built this business plan template in a way where it's a PDF, but you can type inside that PDF. So I'm gonna share my screen with you now, and we're gonna walk you through this business plan, all right? So part number one, I'm gonna go through some of these fairly quickly, and I'll spend more time, I think, where it's needed, all right? So part one is our vision, mission, and our core values, okay? So I'm not gonna spend a ton of time here, but it is important that you know where you're going, right? So the vision for you, okay, whether you're a brand new real estate agent or you've been in the business for a while, what is the vision for 2022? What is the vision for the next 3 years, the next 5 years, the next 10 years of your business? What does that vision look like? You can type this out, okay? You could say, I want to be the top agent in my brokerage, which is a great goal, by the way, because what's interesting about that is in 2021, as I'm making this video, we just ended our first 2-day live reverse selling summit. And we've had many agents on stage in 2021, their first year in real estate, who accomplished this goal. They wanted to be the number one agent in their brokerage within their first year. Not only just in real estate, but their first year in coaching with us, they became the top agents at their brokerage, okay? So what is the mission? The mission is, how do you plan to accomplish the goal, okay? The goal here is the vision, the mission is the how. So the mission here, I'm just giving you an example. I'm going through this really quickly. We're gonna spend more time in later parts of the plan. So the mission could be, I'm going to learn how to prospect and generate listing leads. Okay, just as an example. All right, core values. Core values is what essentially your self-worth. Okay, so what do you stand for? What do you believe? How will you do business? This might even come into play where you talk about, hey, I'm never going to discount my commission, or I'm going to work price points from X dollar amount and higher. I'm not going to work anything lower than that. Okay, these are your core values. All right, step 2 is what we call stepping on the scale. Okay, so stepping on the scale. This for a lot of agents is very, very difficult. Why? Because it's the truth. Most people right now, especially in our industry, they love going on Facebook, they love going on Instagram and sharing all the good, which is awesome. More kudos to you. I hope that you share more positive things. But the reality, when the curtain goes down behind the scenes, the reality for most agents is they're nowhere close to where they want in terms of the goals that they set. So you have to do this part. Even if it brings you pain, you must go through it. So how many transactions have I closed so far this year, 2021? Just put it in, okay? Then you're gonna say, how much money have I earned this year? Be honest with yourself, okay? You're not getting any glory for putting in the wrong numbers. This is for you. And then thirdly, what sources of business do your transactions come from? We have to source the business, okay? So if you did 15 deals, 20 deals, whatever the case may be, where did those deals come from? The next thing we want to do is an exercise that we call start, stop, and continue. Now, with agents in my coaching system, we do this every single month, okay, with our new Listing Agent Academy program. And we look at this every month. What do we need to start doing that we're not doing now? What do we need to start doing? What do we need to stop doing that is not bringing us closer to the goals that we've set on our business plan? And then lastly, what's working now that we should continue to do more of, okay? So that's part 2, stepping on the scale. Now, let's talk about part 3, which is setting your sales, okay? This is where we're going to get very clear. We talked about the vision, we talked about the mission. This is where we're gonna get very clear on exactly what you want, exactly why you want what you want, okay? What you're willing to do to get it, and how do you plan on getting it? Now, when we go through the blueprint here in just a second, I'm gonna help you to outline exactly what to do, but here's where you wanna get clear. Because here's what I find in working with agents. When I ask them, dudette, what do you want? What do you want this year? What are you looking to get out of your business? Most of the answers are very surface level. They're not well thought out. It's most of the time like, well, I just want to succeed. Okay, great. What does that mean? Okay, this is your opportunity right now in November to spend time getting clear on what it is that you want. All right, so the second part of this is we're gonna fill out your income goal. Now, I'm gonna use as an example in here, $250,000 in income, okay? This is the goal that we're gonna work towards in today's video as we're building out your business plan. So the first thing we have to do, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the calculator here on the screen so you can do this with me and you can see how all this comes together. So it doesn't matter what your goal is, if it's $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $1 million in income, it doesn't matter. I just want to show you the calculations, okay? So the first thing we have to do is say, okay, if our goal is $250,000, this is a listing-based business plan. Any buyer sale that you get as a result of your business next year, 2022, will just be a cherry on top, all right? So this is a listing-based business plan. So we take the $250,000. That is our goal. We then divide that by our average commission. So let's just say, for the sake of this video as an example, your average commission is $7,000, okay? This means that you have to sell 35 homes. That's the goal, okay? We have to sell 35 houses, and we're gonna come back to that in just a second. In addition to your 12-month goals, you're gonna write down, what are my personal goals? Are you looking to get into shape? I hope that you're prioritizing health and fitness in 2022, okay? Then you wanna walk through, in addition to your business goals, where do you wanna travel? What would you like to purchase? How much money would you like to save? Okay, you wanna complete this part of the business blueprint because I'm gonna ask you to review this business plan on a daily basis. All right, so now let's get into the actual blueprint. This is where I'm gonna spend the majority of our time today because this is, I think, where most people have the most questions, number one. Number two, people, if they do set goals, which is great, the other problem is like, well, can I see your plan that outlines exactly what you have to do to accomplish that goal. And that is the part where real estate agents can't, they fall short. They can't show me that part of their plan. After you watch this video and after you go through all the steps in this video, that will no longer be true for you, okay? So we just talked about how many listings do I need to sell in order to achieve my goal. We just did that, okay? It's 35. Now, next step in the blueprint, how many listings do I need to take to achieve my goal? You're not going to sell every single listing you take. Although I know that's the goal, the reality is you're not going to sell every single one, okay? Right now, because of how good of a seller's market we've been in, it's likely that you sell the majority, but I'd rather build a business plan based on worst case scenario. So let's go ahead and use an 80% list to sold ratio, okay? So if we need to sell 35 homes, all we have to do then is divide that by 0.8, okay? And this gives us our number. So we need to take, I'm gonna round up, okay? I want this to be worst case scenarios for you. So in this business blueprint, okay, $250,000 income, $7,000 average commission, we need to sell 35 homes, we need to take 44 listings. Well, the next question on our blueprint then is, how many listings appointments must I go on? How many listing appointments must I go on? Okay, now here's the part of this video that I'm going to add into the plan that's not on this sheet, okay? Here's what I want you to write down. If you are a brand new agent, okay, 2022 is going to be your first full year in real estate, I want you to use a 50% closing ratio, okay? If you are in the business for 3 to 5 years, okay, you can use a 60% close ratio. And if you're in the business for 5 or more years, we can use a 70% close ratio. And if you've been in the business for over 10 years, you can bump that up all the way to 80% close ratio, okay? These are averages, which is fine. If you're better than this, let the blueprint, let the business plan throughout the year prove it. I think that's being very fair to yourself, that you don't build your plan on best case scenario, you're building it on worst case scenario. So I'm gonna build this business blueprint as a brand new real estate agent, okay? So I'm gonna use what is on the business planning template, which is a 50% close ratio. So if we need to take 40, we said 44, right? So 44 listings is what we need to take. If we have a 50% close ratio, that means we need to go on double the amount of appointments, right? So in this case, we need to go on 88 listing appointments in order to get 44 listing contracts signed. That is a 50% close ratio. Well, the next step then is, how many listing appointments do I need to set? You're not going to go on every single appointment that you set. Sometimes sellers will cancel on you. Sometimes you will cancel on the seller. So in this column, we want to use a 70% met ratio. So let's pull up the calendar or the calculator. We need to go on 88 listing appointments. We divide that by 0.7. This says, okay, got it. So we need 125 listing appointments set, okay? Now I'm gonna break all this down for you monthly and into daily goals, so just stay with me, okay? Now this is the next one on this chart will determine rather whether or not this entire plan comes to fruition. This section right here is when you hear me say you have to do the work every single day, I'm referring literally to this column in the business blueprint. How many conversations do you have to have in order to set 125 listing appointments? Over the course of a year, how many conversations do you have to have? We're in the sales business, remember. Our job is to have conversations with prospects. If you have a problem with what I just said, please let me know in the comments section so I can help you understand the business that we're in. But for most of you, you've accepted that fact. Okay, couple things here. On the document, on the template, you see it says 100 contacts to set one appointment. If you are brand new to the business, that is the number I want you to use. If 2022 is going to be your first full year in the business, I want you to use 100 contacts to set one appointment. Okay. If you are in your years 3 to 5, okay, you can back this down to about 50. And for agents that have been in the business for 5 years or more, you can use 25 conversations to set one appointment. Why? Because you have a database. Okay, this whole conversion ratio is based on two things: sales skills and your database maturity. Meaning this: how many people are in your database that you've talked to multiple times about listing their property? If you're a brand new agent, the answer to that question is 0. Okay. If you've been in the business for a couple of years, you probably have a lot of people in your database that you've talked to that are looking to sell their home in the future. Therefore, your ratio will be better. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Any questions you have on this business plan, just put them in the comments so we can have a conversation about it. I'm going to use 100 because we're building this as a brand new agent. Okay. So we know we have to set 125 appointments. And it takes us 100 conversations to set one. So we have to multiply that, okay, by 100 conversations. Obviously that equals 12,500 conversations that we need over the course of a year, okay, over the course of a year. So the next thing on the blueprint is how many hours do I need to prospect? Okay, so we use an average of 10 conversations per hour if you're disciplined, if you're focused. Okay, if you have shiny object syndrome and you're distracted all the time, you won't even come close. But let's assume for a second that you're absolutely 100% committed to achieving your goals in 2022. So we're going to take the 12,500 and now we're going to then divide that, okay? Because we're looking at, okay, if we're making 10 contacts per hour, we can divide this by 240 working business days, okay? Which is about 52 conversations per day, okay? 52 conversations per day is what you need, okay? So if we take that 52 and then we divide that by an hour, you're gonna see we're going to get about 5 hours a day. Okay, so 5 hours a day. Let me clear this out. 5 hours a day. Multiply that. Let me clear this out. 5 hours a day times 240 working days. You need 1,200 hours of actual work. Okay, 1,200 hours of actual work for the year to make $250,000 a year, okay? Now, the question I have for you right now is this. If I wrote you a check now, and I put it in your bank account for $250,000, and all you had to do to keep that money till the end of the year was talk to 50 people per day, could you do it? Would you do it? The answer is absolutely yes. Why? Because human beings are more motivated by the fear of loss than we are motivated by what we can gain. And that is a truth. That is why we see so many people coming out of a W-2 job where they maybe worked as a W-2 employee for 5, 10, 15 years. They never lost their job ever because they were scared to lose that salary. They were scared to lose that income. Come into real estate as a 1099 independent contractor and fail out of the business within their first 12 months. Why? Because they weren't given the salary. They were more motivated. They were more motivated by the fear of losing that salary than they were motivated by how much income they can earn in real estate. It's a crazy, crazy phenomenon. All right, let's keep going through the business plan, okay? If you have questions about this, just let me know. And all you have to do to break this down, okay, into monthly or daily is say, okay, cool, 1,200 conversations, we just did this. 1,200 conversations divided by 240 working business days, it's 5 hours per day. That's what I need to do, okay? I need 50 conversations per day. I need to put in that 4 or 5 hours worth of work every day, and all of your goals will be accomplished. Now, once your skills increase and your contact to appointment set ratio gets better, imagine a world where this is half. Imagine, and I've worked with agents all the time within their first year working with me, this number gets all the way down to 25 in their first year. I'm not going to set that false expectation for you, but if you're serious about working on your skills, we can get this down to 25 conversations to set one appointment, right? So now let's just look at that just to have a little fun, okay? Let's just pretend for a second, in order to set your 125 appointments, it only takes you 25 conversations. Well, wow, look at that. Now we go from 12,000 conversations needed to only 3,100. Now we take that 3,100, we divide that by 240 working days, voila. Now you only need 13 conversations per day. Okay, you break that down, divide that by 10, it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of work per day to earn the $250,000 in income. That is why you hear me constantly talking about increasing your skills. Okay, let's move on. Part number 5, assembling the army. I recommend every single agent that I coach, I recommend they have at least 5, not at least, they have 5 sources of business, okay? We're not gonna make a whole video around lead generation. This is about the business plan, but you need 5 sources of leads coming into your business to make this entire thing work. I've given you a bunch of different options or examples beneath here. You need 5, okay? Part 6 is the action-based schedule, okay? So what time am I gonna wake up? What time am I going to exercise? What time am I gonna review the business plan? What time am I going to prospect? So on and so forth, okay? The template tells you exactly what you need to do. All you need to put in here is what times of the day you're gonna do this. I've even put in the weekly action plan. What day and time are you going to email your database every week? What day and time are you going to post on your social media? What day and time are you going to have your late night prospecting session? It's all right here for you. I even lay this out for you monthly. What day and time each month are you going to mail your letter to your database farm? What day and time are you going to call through your seller lead database? We do the same thing for quarterly. What day and time every quarter are you going to call through your top 100, your sphere of influence, past client referral partner database? And then annually, what day and time is your client appreciation event? This is the action-based schedule that you need to complete. And then part 7, which is the last part of the business plan, is what we call our monthly business reviews, okay? So at the end of every single month, you're going to want to say, okay, what was the goal? Okay, my goal here was I needed 500 conversations. Okay, cool. How many did you actually do? You're going through this exercise every single month. How many leads did the business plan say I needed? How many did I get? How many listing appointments set? How many did I actually set? How many did I go on? How many did I need to go on? How many did I actually go on? So on and so forth. You're going to do this every single month so that you don't fall off the rails, okay? So many people go through these business planning, goal setting exercises at the beginning of every year, and then come February, they've already fallen off the rails. So hopefully, now that you've gone through this business plan session with me, you have the exact blueprint that you need to have your best year ever in 2022. If I can help you, and if you're ready to get into coaching, you want somebody to hold you accountable to the things you've laid out in this plan. You want a coach to help you increase your skills. I would love the opportunity to have a conversation with you about working together. I put a link beneath this video. You can schedule a call whenever you feel comfortable doing so, and we can talk about working together and whether or not now's the time to do that. Okay? Either way, no big deal. I will continue to help you grow your listing-based business here on YouTube, and I will see you in a video tomorrow morning. Thank you guys so much for watching.